Well, you might not be able to edit your tweets, but now you can edit iMessages on the Apple ecosystem. That's one of the announcements that Apple made at its Worldwide Developers Conference yesterday, as well as a newly announced buy now, pay later service that it's adding to Apple Pay. Yahoo Finance's Dan Howley has been covering that for us. He's joining us now from Cupertino with what we heard from Apple. So, Dan, I know you're excited about that edit feature in particular.
That's right, Julie. They announced a slew of new updates to every piece of software that they offer. Well, virtually every piece of software. We didn't hear anything about tvOS, but it's no big deal. On the iOS front, the big deal, obviously, is, as you said, those edit buttons for sending your text message. So if you ever send a spicy text, maybe you regret it immediately afterwards, you'll now be able to retract that text message, potentially saving you from embarrassment. You can also edit text messages after you send them, so you'll be able to then fix them if you have a typo or something along those lines. I send typos constantly. My friends make fun of me for it because I don't know how to spell very well, despite being a writer. So that will save me a lot of grief. The other thing that they announced is obviously that Apple Pay Later, that buy now, pay later scheme that they have. Basically, you're going to be able to purchase items using Apple Pay and pay through 4 equal payments over 6 weeks. They say there'll be no fees and no interest on that. So we're going to have to see how many people take that plan and start making actual purchases with it. They seem to show it being used at a bunch of different locations, but those are just simulations. And then we had on the iPad OS front, updates that allow you to multitask better on the iPad, really kind of making that more of a laptop kind of competitor. And speaking of laptops, we had Apple roll out its new M2 chip. That's its new piece of in-house silicon. And then they did announce a brand new MacBook Air, completely redesigned. It really does look gorgeous. It's incredibly lightweight, as well as a new MacBook Pro running that M2 chip. So huge announcements across the board. I didn't even get to talk about watchOS, but let's just say there's more to do if you're going to work out and more health tracking.
Dan, you're in luck because we have a hot second to talk about Apple Watch, and that's exactly what I was excited about here. As an owner who loses his watch from time to time, but also bought it for some of the health tracking capabilities there. So what do we need to know about some of those updates that have come forth from the Apple Watch?
Awesome, because I love my Apple Watch. So basically what they're going to do is give you some new sleep tracking capabilities. I don't really wear it at night because the battery life's not fantastic, but they're going to, if you do wear it at night, they're going to give you the ability to track your different sleep cycles. So REM sleep, core sleep, deep sleep, things like that. Give you a better sense of how your sleep was. I'll be honest with you, every time I wear a tracker that tells me how I slept at night, it tells me that I slept terribly, and then I see that and I immediately feel worse. So I just ignore it, basically. The other thing they have is new medication tracking features. So if you take medications, they put out a statistic that 50% of Americans take medications daily or regularly. You can schedule for when you want an alert for when you should take your medication. So it's a good way to keep people on track. I think there's a lot of folks who that will benefit a lot. And then there's an AFib tracker now. So atrial fib, obviously, when your heartbeat is out of whack, you can get an alert on your Apple Watch. It's not meant to diagnose you already, but if you are diagnosed with AFib, you will now get a tracking feature that will tell you when you're in AFib, for how long, and then you can share that with your doctor. And they say they're getting FDA clearance for that. So that'll be very helpful for people who do have AFib. Obviously, we're looking into the future, whether Apple will add things like body temperature scanning, blood pressure, things like that. But that's still a little bit of a ways out.
They need to add a sleep interpreter for some of these dreams that I'll be having as well, as long as they're going to be tracking some of my sleep patterns here. Dan, appreciate the time here breaking down all things Apple from the announcements.